VO2 max is one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot, usually in the context of elite athletes or lab testing. But here's the thing, for female runners over 45, VO2 max can be an important health and performance metric that you can track. Because it's not just about running faster, it's about running stronger, feeling energized, and living a longer, healthier life. In this video, we're unpacking what a good VO2 max looks like for you, how it's measured, how you can improve it safely, and why it might just be the key to aging like an athlete. Before we get into the numbers, let's start simple. What exactly is VO2 max?
VO2 max is just the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use per minute when you're exercising at your limits. Think of it as the size of your engine. The bigger your capacity to take in and use oxygen, the more capacity you have to move, recover, and perform.
Exactly, and for female runners over 45, that's critical because VO2 max naturally declines with age, but it doesn't have to plummet. We can absolutely train to maintain and even improve it, and that has a huge impact on both performance and long-term health. Now, let's talk a little bit more about how it's measured because sometimes this can get confusing. There are essentially three ways. As most people know, your smartwatch does give an estimate. It's based on your pace and your heart rate data, and it's definitely not exact, but it's great for tracking trends over time. And if that number's moving up month to month, you're improving. There are also some online calculators, and they'll ask for your age, your weight, and recent running times to give you a ballpark figure. Again, not gospel, but definitely useful. And Lynn's one that you and I know very, very well is a proper lab test. And of course, this is the gold standard. You run on a treadmill with a mask that measures how much oxygen you inhale and how much carbon dioxide you exhale. It's precise, but you don't necessarily need to know this to benefit from training for VO2 max.
Right, and I'll add that the absolute number matters less than your progress. If your watch says 38 this month and 40 a few months later, that's a win. And I just want to mention that when you taper or go into recovery weeks, it goes down because the watch is based off an algorithm.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean you're not improving, it's just working on those algorithms. And so what Lindsay's saying is that improvements over time is what counts. And let's be honest, comparing your VO2 max to someone else's VO2 max is completely meaningless. What matters is how efficiently you can use oxygen for your age, your training, and your goals. Now, the question we get all the time is, how do I improve my VO2 max? And here's where it gets interesting and so many runners can go wrong. To raise your VO2 max, you need both low and high intensity training. But the ratio matters, especially after the age of 45. Most female runners I work with are training too hard, too often, living in that kind of hard middle zone. And that's where fatigue builds and fitness stalls. So instead, you want to mostly do low intensity, truly easy running. And on one day a week is where you can go intentionally hard. And here's how that works in practice. Your easy runs, those conversational, easy pace sessions, are what really builds the foundation. They strengthen your heart, they increase your capillary density, and they help your body use oxygen more effectively. Your hard runs are short, sharp, high-intensity intervals, and that is essentially what pushes your ceiling a little bit higher. A good example of those are 4 to 6 intervals of about 3 minutes hard, 3 minutes easy. Do that once a week maximum. That combination of easy volume and precise intensity is really where the magic happens.
And the one thing I'd add, Shona, is how important strength training is here. If your muscles are stronger, your biomechanics are more efficient, and every step costs you less oxygen. We've seen it over and over again. The runners who combine strength and aerobic work not only improve their VO2 max, they recover faster and get injured less.
And that's actually a perfect time to mention this, Lindsay. If you're a female runner over 45 and you want a step-by-step plan to rebuild strength, improve your energy, and get your training balance right, we've put together a free masterclass that walks you through exactly how to do it. You can find the link below. All right, let's talk about why all of this matters so much. VO2 max isn't just a fitness metric, it's a health span marker. Studies show that a higher VO2 max is linked with a lower risk of cardiovascular disease and all-cause mortality. In plain English, improving this number helps you live longer and stay independent longer. You don't want to just add years to your life, you want to add life to your years. And that's what VO2 max represents. Your ability to keep moving, climbing stairs, running with your grandkids, living on your own terms. And here's what I want you to take away from this video. Improving VO2 max really comes down to 4 things. Easy runs that are actually easy, 1 weekly dose of high quality intensity training, strength training twice a week, and respecting recovery, fueling, rest, and sleep. When you combine those, your VO2 max and your life will improve more than you think.
I couldn't agree more. And I'll just say, we've coached thousands of female runners through this exact process, and it really works. You don't lose fitness with age, you lose what you stop training for.
Absolutely. So if you've been feeling stuck, if your watch VO2 max hasn't budged in months, now you know what to do. And once you've got that foundation set, the next step is making sure you're not sabotaging your own progress. So when you're done here, watch this next video. 5 huge mistakes self-coached female runners over 45 make. It's the perfect follow-up to help you put all of this into practice.